The golden couple of New York's elite just broke, sending shock through every ballroom and boardroom in the city. In episode 6 of the Gilded Age season 3, what seemed like an unshakable union is now cracking wide open. A once perfect relationship is now wrapped in silence, tension, and scandal. But what happened? Why now? And what does it mean for everyone else who built their futures around their power? Episode 6 doesn't waste time. From the first scene, something feels off. The air between George and Bertha Russell is colder, tighter, more guarded. They don't share glances like they used to. Instead, they avoid each other's eyes completely. At a charity event, Bertha arrives alone, a move that instantly starts whispers. It's unheard of for them to appear separately, especially with so many eyes watching. George, meanwhile, is shown deep in conversation with a mysterious business associate, one who clearly has nothing to do with family or home. These small actions hit harder because of who they are. George and Bertha have always been the power couple, rich, united, unstoppable. They don't just influence the economy, they shape the social map of New York. Their mansion is a symbol of dominance. Their decisions, who they support, who they dismiss, can change someone's future overnight. So, when cracks begin to show, it's not just personal, it's political, it's financial. And it's terrifying for those who rely on their favorite data. As the episode unfolds, more signs build the storm. A tense dinner with their children reveals deeper trouble. Bertha keeps her answers short. George keeps checking the time. No smiles, no warmth. When Aurora Fane mentions an upcoming opera gala, Bertha pretends not to care. Another red flag. This is a woman who once fought tooth and nail for her place in society, and now she's giving up appearances. Something serious must be happening behind closed doors. What's most striking, though, is how silent they are. No fights, no shouting, just distance. This isn't the kind of drama that plays out loudly. This is the quiet breakdown, the kind that leaves a bigger mess behind. For New York's elite, silence is more dangerous than any scream, because it means the end is near, and no one knows how much will fall with it. Behind the polished walls of the Russell mansion, something dark has been brewing for weeks, maybe even months. In episode 6, we finally start to see the roots of this unraveling marriage. It's not just one fight or one mistake, it's a slow war of ambition, secrets, and quiet betrayal. And the most chilling part, neither of them is innocent. Let's start with Bertha. This season, she's taken her hunger for power to a whole new level. Her obsession with climbing higher in society has crossed lines socially and emotionally. She's no longer just playing the game, she's rewriting the rules. She's been making decisions behind George's back about events, alliances, even business dealings. And it's not subtle. In one moment during episode 6, she speaks to a European count about future arrangements that she hasn't even told George about. It's a sign that her ambitions may no longer include him. But George isn't just a victim here. He's been keeping secrets too. Remember that late-night meeting with Clay and the unknown investor? It wasn't about railroads. It was about moving money quietly into a risky deal that Bertha strongly opposed last season. He did it anyway, and now that deal is falling apart. George knows it, but he's hiding it. He hasn't told Bertha, not because he's protecting her, but because he doesn't trust her reaction. That's the real tragedy. They no longer trust each other. And then there's the matter of trust outside the marriage. Rumors are beginning to swirl, rumors that George has been visiting someone in the old Vanderbilt circle, a widow with influence. Nothing confirmed, but even the idea of it is enough to light a fire under Bertha. She's already feeling sidelined by George's business deals, and now she suspects he may be sharing more than numbers with someone else. These cracks in their marriage are more than emotional, they're political. Bertha needs George's name. George needs Bertha's social influence. But what happens when both start acting like they don't need the other at all? That's not just betrayal. That's strategy. And it's dangerous. Even their closest allies are beginning to notice. Ward McAllister avoids bringing them up in conversation. The Van Ryns look smug, as if waiting for them to fall. This isn't just gossip anymore, it's a shift in the balance of power. And in a world built on influence, nothing is more frightening than watching the foundation crumble. It only took one evening, one event without both Russells present. And just like that, The cracks in their marriage weren't whispers anymore, they were dinner conversation. High society doesn't forgive weakness, and in episode 6, the wolves start to circle. The very people who once begged for Bertha's approval now lean into each other with smirks and fake pity. George and Bertha's personal war has become public property, and the vultures are ready to feed. At Mrs. Winterton's luncheon, the change is clear. Bertha is seated further from the host than usual, a quiet insult. A woman she once helped rise in society now barely acknowledges her. The message is loud without a single word. Without George standing beside her, Bertha's power is already slipping. Meanwhile, George attends a private gathering of industrialists alone. When asked about Bertha, he gives a cold, rehearsed answer. No warmth, no denial, just distance. Enough for the rumors to catch fire. Even the younger generation feels the tremor. Gladys Russell, who once walked confidently through any room, now fidgets at events. She's no longer the glowing debutante of last season, she's the daughter of a couple breaking apart. Suitors grow hesitant. Invitations to the mansion slow down. In high society, your bloodline is your currency, and Gladys's value is shrinking by the day. But this isn't just about snubs and gossip. Real power is moving. Larry Russell's job offer from one of George's rivals doesn't feel random anymore, it feels like an attack. Aurora Fane suddenly begins hosting smaller, exclusive dinners without inviting Bertha. Agnes Van Ryn, who always saw Bertha as an outsider, finally smells blood. She delivers one of the episode's coldest lines. Some houses rise fast and fall even faster. Everyone laughs, but they all know she's talking about the Russells. Then comes the most shocking moment. A guest publicly questions whether the Russells will still host the season's grand ball. Bertha pauses. Her face freezes. For a woman who fought her way into this world, the suggestion that she might no longer belong is a blade to the heart. And she knows the moment one crack shows, society will push to tear the whole structure down. This is no longer just a family breaking apart. This is a shift in the hierarchy. The Russells were the symbol of new money crashing into old tradition. Now that symbol is rusting, and the people who feared them are finally daring to challenge them. The question isn't if Bertha and George will recover. The question is, who will replace them if they don't? This isn't just a breakup. This is war in slow motion. And if episode 6 made anything clear, it's that Bertha and George Russell aren't stepping back quietly. They're not crying in private or begging for forgiveness. They're both calculating, both armed with secrets, and both ready to rewrite the rules no matter the cost. But the question that haunts every corner of New York high society is simple. Is this heading toward a divorce, or something far more dangerous? Bertha, for one, isn't waiting around. In the final scenes of episode 6, she walks into the Metropolitan Opera House not as a wife but as a queen without a king. She doesn't flinch. She doesn't hide. Her dress, her posture, her silence, they all say one thing: I'm still here. But she doesn't take her usual seat. Instead, she sits further back, watching others take her place. It's a quiet moment, but it's sharp. Bertha is calculating her next move, and it won't be subtle. Meanwhile, George meets with an unexpected figure, someone from Bertha's rival circle. Their conversation is brief, but full of tension. George isn't looking for comfort. He's looking for allies. This isn't about love anymore. This is about empire. And like any smart businessman, George knows that when one bridge burns, another must be built quickly. What's terrifying is that neither of them seems sad. Hurt, maybe. Angry, definitely. But not sad, because deep down, they both know what this is really about. Power. The divorce rumors? They're just the beginning. What's coming next might be more public, more destructive, and far more permanent. Fans should expect more than courtroom drama or whispered settlements. This is the Gilded Age, where wealth is weaponized and reputation is everything. If this marriage truly explodes, secrets will come out. Affairs, financial betrayals, political manipulations, things neither Russell wants the world to know. But if pushed, they'll use them. And don't forget their children. Larry's caught in the middle, torn between loyalty and ambition. Gladys is already being used like a pawn. If this split turns ugly, even they won't be spared. The ripple effect could tear the Russell name from every golden gate it ever entered. So what happens next? Reconciliation is possible, but only if one bends. And neither Bertha nor George bends. Not for love, not for forgiveness, not even for survival. Which means episode 7 could deliver the most explosive confrontation of the season, because in the Gilded Age, a marriage isn't just about love, it's about legacy. And when that legacy is under threat, no one walks away clean.